I fucking like...
So that's Merlon's son, Merle.
This reminds me of, like, Final Fantasy 1 music.
Yeah, I can sort of see that.
Dude, I like Final Fantasy 1. Well, I like the Dawn of Ages easy one.
Dawn of Souls.
Dawn of Souls, yeah.
And even that version has a lot of grinding in it.
Not... only a few...
More than average.
I think at the beginning, when you need to get a bunch of spells, there's a little bit of grinding for... But you don't really, like, need to either. I don't know.
Yeah.
I like that one since you can choose... I know that there are other Final Fantasy games that can do that. I'm just not an RPG guy. I just played that one as a kid.
As
a little baby boy.
I think you'd like 5. I think you should give it a Stabarino.
Stab. What I like about the first one is I don't like... I know it's weird, but I couldn't give a shit about story. It's probably a big reason why I don't like a lot of RPGs. I couldn't give a shit about story, and to me, it just gets in the way a lot of the time. It's rare that I find a story that I'm actually like, wow. I really like this.
Like Khaim's daughter falling off the cliff in Lost Odyssey.
Yeah, like...
Falling off the Dammit Peninsula.
I don't give a shit.
But then Khaim finds his daughter years later and she dies of a disease. Right before his eyes. She loses
Spoilers for Lost Odyssey. All I want...
At the end, Seth pushes Gongora through the hole and they both get lost.
Nobody cares about Lost Odyssey, but Gongora's theme, though. It's fucking amazing. Fucking Gongora's theme. Because he's always doing, not... Like, even when he's not even doing super evil stuff, he's just saying words. And it's just like, dun, dun, dun. Dude, I want to play that game just to see, like, those parts.
Well, you could just
when, like, that weird prince guy is, like, fighting, like, he's, like, all scared, but he's fighting those weird zombie guys.
The clay monsters?
Yeah. Game's weird, but cool. It's just really long.
Eric, what did you think of the scene where Gongora turns into a snake and eats the chairman?
Dude, it's been so long since I've seen it. I don't remember, like, the beginning parts of that game. And the fucking general guy.
General Kakamas.
Dude, I kind of want to play that game again. The problem is I don't want to fucking go, like, grab the fucking Xbox 360 out of it, dig it out of its grave, and then fucking get the 6 discs that you need to play the game.
There are 4 discs, and the Xbox 360
it's not quite old enough to emulate. Not that you do that, because that's illegal, but, you know...
So, Starborn Valley within the substance of the Paper Mario universe is the place where stars are born.
Exposition. Unnecessary.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm a cranky bastard.
The stars are born here, and they, when they grow up and are old enough to start granting wishes, they ascend to the sky. But because Bowser stole the Star Rod, nobody's rising. Twink was the last Star Kid to rise to Star Haven. If you look at the opening cutscene where it's just like, oh, the Star Spirits watch over the world. Oh no, Bowser took the thing. Like right at the very end, you can see Twink arriving at Star Haven.
I wonder if Twink was a slur when this came out.
I don't think it was.
So
like I remember earlier in this playthrough, like I mentioned to you.
Yeah, I remember that.
And then you didn't know about that, so it's
I knew what it was, but I just, didn't think about it because, the character's name is Twink.
Yeah.
The etymology is, like, always so interesting to me. It changes so fast. Like, what words mean what.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Merle tells us...
Dangerous paths.
Merle tells us that we need 2 items in order to access the Crystal Palace, which is a place where basically a temple created to worship the Star Spirits that has since been overrun by Bowser's minions.
Hey, Michael, would you like some, Sega Genesis with your dust? Whoa!
Yeah.
Seriously, though, this fucking thing.
Yeah.
Ew. Look at that. It's fucking gross. Michael's got all those fucking classic consoles collecting dust to serious degrees.
Yeah, I mean, like, that was back when I got game consoles to play games. Nowadays, like
I've never really been interested in retro. Like, there's only been like a few games that I've seen where I'm like, wow, that actually looks like fun. I mean, I like the Super NES. I think it would be my favorite out of like what you'd call like classic consoles. But I don't know. I've never like wanted to play an NES game or.
Yeah, most of them aren't.
I'm a wee bab relative to a lot of people, I guess. I'm 19.
Eric, old games are old.
Some of my first memories were like Luigi's Mansion coming out. You know what I mean? GameCube was like my first console.
But Eric, we both played Super Mario 64 back then.
Yeah, but that was so long ago. All I remember was like the things that I thought were scary, like the
like the piano.
The piano and the eel.
I remember you used to be scared of the mummy thwomps in the pyramid.
Yeah, I remember being scared of them.
So I look
at them now and they look so goofy. Everything in that game looks so goofy.
I had to put a bunch of post-it notes in the TV so you wouldn't get too scared.
I do not remember this. I remember details. So I'm saying that was so long ago. Thing is with memory is what I learned because I took because I'm taking a bunch of like general stuff to like that it's required for any degree, and so I took psychology, like, you know, first one where they just do a whole shit ton of stuff. But like during like when we were talking about memory, everybody's always like, I remember things from a long time ago. Like, this is my first memory, but usually it's like age 6 or 7 when you can actually you get an idea of I don't know if object permanence comes before that, but basically you like don't remember stuff before you're 6. And most memories that people have, because people are like, I distinctly remember when I was 3 being in this situation, it's almost always fabricated and based off of like what other people tell you, like your mom was like you know your mom or dad or parent or whatever, you know, is like, yeah, you did this that one time, and you're like, yeah, I sort of remember that, but in honesty, like it's like, yeah, that's not how your brain works.
Isn't there like an experiment where they'd give like the what's the word? Not respondent.
Kick in the ass. A swift kick in the rear.
Participant. They give the participant a photograph of that person in a balloon when they were a kid and ask them if they remember it. And then, like, even if it never happened to any of these people, but they, like, sort of fabricate a memory as they go along with that happening to them.
It's interesting. That's totally a thing. I always catch myself doing it. And, then you don't know what happened. And luckily, it's mostly mundane shit that doesn't matter anyway. But I love the stories about Baby Michael. Would you be fine with sharing some stories about Baby Michael?
Go right ahead.
Okay. What was it? There was a waitress. This might have been me or you. I don't remember. Where one of us called, like, we were like 2 or something like that, and apparently we were like to a waitress, like an old waitress. We were like, they brought us like a drink or something. We were like, thanks, sweetie, or something like that. And then there's stories about you climbing up cabinets. And
like that one, I do kind of remember.
But that's what I'm saying. It's impossible for you to remember that. How old were you?
Well, like, I know what happened to me. Like, I can visualize the bookcase in question. And I remember, thinking there was something behind it.
Did he say tyke?
Yeah, he said little tykes.
How many heads do you think that joke's gonna go over?
Well, if you guys go watch our Toy Story 2 playthrough, and then you will get the joke.
And that won't enlighten anybody. But if you get that joke, I don't know whether to say I'm sorry or good on you. You know what I mean? I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know what to say. This is a chill recording session. I like it. I guess you don't watch nearly as much stuff as I do. I watch a lot of podcasts, a lot of Let's Plays and stuff like that. A lot of streams. And, I don't know, it's because because I feel like I'm a lot more of a consumer than a creator, and so like I try to see like patterns and like how people feel about stuff, and because okay, when we sit down to record like this, even just right now, right? If we weren't being recorded, we'd be having different conversations and stuff, right? Almost certainly. We like act different, not because we're like trying to be fake or anything, right?
Yeah.
But just trying to,
trying to be more theatrical, as they say.
Yeah, and I mean that's just the truth. But does that, like, as a consumer, knowing that, does that ever kind of like bother you?
The fact that someone I'm watching might be expressing thoughts differently, or different thoughts entirely, just
or just like acting maybe not how they are. Like, like
I think it's really enlightening.
I think it's a really interesting topic that people don't really talk about since it's uncomfortable.
I think it's enlightening when you watch someone that you're used to taking a different tone.
Yeah,
suddenly
like
be more honest.
You see their almost like character that they have like during like what they're doing, and then you see them when they're normal. Like I think the easiest way to think about that is to think of really intense people, like really like crazy people. Like for example, probably I think of a well-known in this community person. Most people know who John is. Like, okay, for example, and you know who Psychic Pebbles is. I don't know if...
Why did I leave this
I don't know if a whole lot of people who watch this would know who Psychic Pebbles is. But if you might know Oni, who is working with Psychic Pebbles.
Oh, I'm trying to get the Mega Quake to show up in the bad shop.
Anyway, three coins short, my mind friend. Gonna go sell something, probably.
And
I can read the Michael's mind. Anyway, like, okay, so for example, John and Zach, or Psychic Pebbles, they both make like pretty crazy stuff. They both have pretty like crazy senses of humor, right? And then if you watch them stream, sometimes Zach will stream while he's animating and John will be there. They just talk about politics and stuff. They're like they're both really, Zach's like really into history and stuff, and John is really into current events and stuff. And it's like you think about those two and you think like they make the craziest fucking stuff, but then they like when they're just chilling out together, they're like talking politics and stuff. And I don't know, it's like it's interesting. It's like it's just sort of like a, what do you call it? What do you call it when you're watching a movie and you like ignore like the stupid stuff that doesn't work? What do you call it? Suspension of disbelief. It's like when you watch like like for example, even PewDiePie doesn't matter. Anybody. I just say him because who doesn't love making a hilarious PewDiePie jokes?
You'd have to be uncool not to.
Anyway, that's distracting myself. But it's like a character. But and another great example is you don't really know who he is, and honestly I don't really know much about him either. But Filthy Frank, dude's name is George, and he's like, when you see him like normally, he talks completely different. He's actually seems like a really smart guy, but Filthy Frank just fucking yells and dresses up like an idiot and makes crazy jackass type shit.
Yeah. Like if you read the description for the channel description for Filthy Frank, I think part of the point of what he does is that he's like he's sort of like doing this sort of Dave Chappelle sort of shtick where he's like fighting for social justice causes by just sort of being what he's sort of making fun of.
Yeah.
It's meant to be ironic. That's what the channel description says.
Like, he's clearly a smart guy who's not just acting like an idiot for, like, views and money and stuff. I don't know, it's just interesting that, like, I don't, like, know whether not to be bothered by it. You know what I mean? Like, both making it and being a consumer. Like, I don't know how this is done.
Yeah. So we'll see you guys in the next episode.
What do you think? There wasn't really a prompt there, but what do you think?
Question of the day.
Question of the day, what do you think?
Which one's cheese is Gouda feta?
That's a good end. That's a good end right there. We should just stop the series.